I know what it's for, but I mean, I don't know why we, exactly. I think when we start the budget, that we should just go around maybe see the chemical places and stuff, first see if we can find something a little cheaper. You know, the lab and all that stuff, I mean, there might be just one there, but I mean, we can look around and see. I mean, just an idea. No, it doesn't, just shop around, no. Yeah, I'd like to just consider it. Thank you, ma'am. How are you? Good. No. It's sorry. Yeah, you did. You know, it's no quality of life. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen your thing on Facebook. Yeah. It said that to a couple of people. Brooke Mackhouse did that. And she come right back on there real fast, too. Oh, I got a text. I got a brief text. We were on our way in, and I got a text. Facebook says you need to choose one. Yeah, but Brooke Mackhouse did that. Yeah. It was definitely there. Yeah, I know, I've seen it on there. No, but I need to do that some. I have to come up with what I can remember.
We got good samples today, but not. So there's no E. coli or anything like that.
Couple of questions.
It's still back.
I don't know
what
we'll move a chair for you.
First set over here.
Anytime you touch any part of that.
I said to Connie, thank you.
Mom and Dad.
I don't want to be on the camera.
Is Mom and Dad in Mexico?
Yeah.
I thought Bill said he was I don't know why, how he knows, but he said, I said something about the neighbors and they're in Mexico. And I said, I don't think all of them are, because there's lots of them. And then there's not, you know.
Well, we think we're ruling the roost. We're not. We're just trying not to make it too messy, therefore they get
We have to make the choices too, the other one is, so do we have applications for these?
This is the
sidewalk.
Sidewalk, we didn't get that.
But we did get the other one for the house.
Well, no, I'm still not up yet.
Oh, okay.
We got one for the water tower, so we're trying to use it to get in compliance with where.
Did you find that letter? Did you?
She had to send me a letter, and I told her, I said, I called you and told you, and you said you didn't get it.
And I even went back through my pile of mail and I do not have it.
I still haven't got that number yet.
It's pretty wild that if your number's not current yet, they don't have that number anymore.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting on that tech to call me. Call me back.
What did this one send it? Why did they send it here in the first place?
To your box?
Yeah.
Because you're the one, as mayor, you're the one notified first before anybody. You would have been told and
line down your sentence.
But had
It's
it
address.
gotten my address, because anytime I filled out anything, it would have been using the city address. So I don't see how it ever
And
would
it went
have
to her box.
You have to turn in like the names and all that stuff was always for you. And to your email that way too.
How many emails was that one?
That's where it would have came this year. It would have came to your email as well. So.
I never had mail from them either.
And I didn't either, so. Ready to draw it out.
Do you have anything? Yeah, or just put it right here on top. On top.
Yes.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. Right on time. Didn't want to get here too early.
Better late than never.
That's right.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Go ahead and get started. 4 members present, so we do have a quorum. Start off saying a word of prayer. Dear Lord in heaven, thank you for giving us another wonderful day. Lord, thank you for the rain and the cooler weather you've sent us. Lord, please be with us here tonight. Watch over and guide us in all that we may say and do. In your name we pray. We're going to move down to agenda item number 5. Looking at the budget for the Stonewall County Central Appraisal District.
This is just a preliminary, I'm assuming it's because it says that, but the chief appraiser, Ozella wasn't even making $27,000 when she quit. And she's got her budget at $35,000. I think that's just a little outrageous. Because she don't even know what she's doing yet. It has nothing to do with her. They're going to have to bring people in to train her. So, I think that's just a little bit out there.
Any other comments? It is a 30% increase from last year.
Yeah.
Ralph, would you speak up a little louder? I can't hear you.
It's a 30% increase.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Until she learns the job, and you know what I'm saying. And like I said, but Ozella wasn't even making $27,000 when she quit. She was there for how long?
19 years.
Is that the only issue we have with the... Does this have to be approved tonight, Tammy?
Ronnie Moorhead said that the county approved it, but he said don't be shocked that you get an amended one, because they're gonna have to hire, like Richard Petrie was here the other day, someone to come in and try to get everything straightened out, they said. So they're gonna have to hire somebody to come in and do that. Now, I don't know what, that was just what he told me.
I know what he's going to have to do. Can I speak?
No, ma'am.
I think it's wrong that y'all taking open for them all.
I think there is going to be an adjustment that will need to be made to the budget because 7% for employee benefits, that's based on last year's figures. They haven't adjusted those yet, so perhaps it's best we don't take any action on it tonight. From what Tammy said, we'll probably be getting another budget.
Okay.
No action on it. All right.
when we start working on budget, I think when you start working on budget, the, the invoices and stuff for the chemicals and all that kind of stuff, are they the only ones in Abilene that sell it? Or where is it out of?
Is there a place to maybe get
Or
a little
can you,
cheaper?
I mean, you know, just to maybe check on, you know, seeing maybe, you know, shop around, in other words, just a
We
little
did.
bit? Y'all
We
did?
shopped around with J&J, S&S, Phoenix,
Okay.
and all those, and they're all twice that high.
Twice that high. Okay, that's what, you know, like I said, I knew you was
This,
gonna
this
start
company
working on
actually
budget.
makes them. We're buying them from the company that makes them. The other companies buy them from this people.
Okay.
So we're kind of buying like wholesale.
Okay, well, that's what I was, you know, that's what I was just really curious. You know, and the lab company, is that the only lab company we have? For the, you know-
Johnson Lab?
Yeah,
That's, we use,
is that the same?
it's not a lab really, it's what we buy the clamps, and that's just the name of the
Okay.
company. Johnson Lab Supplies. They sell lab supplies, but they sell the clamps and,
Okay,
and
stuff like that.
they're more reasonable than, we quit using Morrison Supply and some of those. We use Johnson and we use Wholesale Plastics.
Yeah, 'cause they, that wholesale, didn't they change names?
Well, they used to be something else.
Yeah, they're combining with somebody else,
Yeah, they're a lot more reasonable in their prices than what everybody else is.
Okay.
So,
And the DPC,
that's a quarry.
Okay.
That's the only place to get it, so.
okay. Okay, that was all the questions I had on that right there.
Are there any questions or comments on the accounts payable?
No, that was,
Make a motion, pay.
Michael makes a motion paying, is there a second?
I'll second.
Stephanie second. All four, please raise your hand. All against, same sign. Motion passes. All right, let's go back up to approving the regular minutes. I have a few items on the last set of minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Mhm.
I would suggest on the August 9th minutes, just a few wording changes.
Right here.
Oh, yes, okay, I'm sorry.
On item number 3, instead of it reading as it is, I would propose the following. Administrator Sonny Campbell presented quotes for 2 billing programs, Tyler Technologies for $3,535.90 and White Mountain for $7,350. Billy Carter made the motion to accept the quote from Tyler Technologies contingent upon UB Max not working with the new meter system and to demand a refund if necessary. Is that suitable?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Also, on item number 4, Michael Wilson made the motion to accept the new rate for health insurance in the amount of $464.88 per employee and to double the life insurance coverage from $20,000 to $40,000 per employee. Is that suitable? That sound all right?
Yes.
Just wording changes, and I believe the intent's still there.
Are y'all gonna be able to continue the meeting without me?
Yes, we do have a form.
Okay, I've got to go.
Thank you, Stephanie.
My grandmother's in my house.
So I need a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections as they're stated.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Chris makes a motion, and there's a second.
Can we get a copy of the meeting?
Yes. I'll give it to you. All four, please raise your hand. All against, same sign. Motion passes. All right, item number 4.
What about the closed meeting that She didn't have any minutes in. How are you gonna approve that whole meeting? You didn't have any minutes or take the closed meeting.
The minutes for that meeting are sealed and enveloped.
You didn't have any. You didn't have any.
I'm not gonna discuss.
I know you didn't have any. The judge said you didn't have any. And he told Sonny. And Sonny told him he didn't have any.
I'll speak with you after the meeting, but I'm not exactly sure what the
Speak
issue
up,
is.
please.
Motion made for all of them.
Yes, ma'am. So we're going to item number 4, proposed city tax rate. Jim Ward is on, has gone to a seminar, and he's unable to be here tonight, so, I visited with him about, information that you should have before you. Last year, our tax rate was, .7066, based on a valuation of 17,845,000, it's rounded to the nearest thousand, for a total levy of $126,086. Valuations for 2012 have increased to $19,082,000. He calculated an effective rate of .6700225, and that effective rate takes into value the current valuations, getting to last year's levy. With that effective rate, based on this year's evaluations, the city would levy taxes that total $127,980. The city can elect to go to the rollback rate, which is 8% above the effective rate, that rate being .723843, for a total levy of $138,121. Now, you can see below there where the additional collections over last year's levy for the effective rate and also the rollback rate. Below that, you will see average home values for last year and this year. Last year, the average home owner paid $154.09 in taxes to the city. This year, based on the rollback rate and a slightly lower average home value, if the rollback rate was adopted, homeowners would pay $156.56.
What? What'd you say, excuse me?
$156.56. That would be an increase of 1.6% for the average homeowner. We can go above the rollback rate. A rollback election would not be required unless a petition was made by the citizens. I would not recommend going above the rollback rate. In fact, I would recommend any tax rate between the effective rate of .670225 and .712423. How I get that rate is the rate that would be required for the average homeowner to pay the same taxes as last year. But y'all are more than welcome to disagree with me on that.
I was kind of looking at some of this earlier today, and we're going to have some issues with revenue due to lack of water. So this would help budget for next year to either do the rollback or somewhere in between the two would help offset some of the cost.
Sure. say we either keep it the same rate it is, or go with the number, what was the number, 7124223, or either keep the rate the same, or keep the amount of payment the same.
If he does increase, in reality, we will see more. Even though their tax rate is the same, or they'll be paying the same, but we will be seeing a little bit more in the revenue part of that.
Because the valuation's higher.
Yeah.
I say go with the
Effective rate of 670225.
What? I couldn't hear you. Just say.
That's gonna go,
It's the middle one.
right, I see that.
We can't go above the 7.2. If we do, then we have to go through a whole other process this week.
You have to have a callback election. Or rollback election.
So the 71,240,23 would be, keep it about the same, but it would,
The average homeowner would pay the same in taxes that they paid last year.
it'll help us.
It'll help us a little bit.
I say we go with that one.
Chris? I mean, like I said, I say, I'm either for that one or for just keeping the rate the same, which would obviously make the levy a little bit higher anyway, so, yeah, I'm fine with keeping it the same for each homeowner, keeping the payment the same.
Yeah.
71.
I'll go with it.
Yeah, I can do it.
Is that a motion, Michael, to accept .712423?
Yeah.
No, second. Motion and second, all four, raise your hand, please. All against, same sign. I think we've covered everything except for the percentage report.
On the billing, we haven't done any actions yet. We've actually got UB Max kind of going right now. We sat in the parking lot this morning and read right at 200 meters before we ever left the parking lot. About 30 minutes we were done with all of them that we've installed, which is about 375 meters. Little issues here and there with some of the radio units that are in the boxes and some wires and things like that. But all the stuff that we're doing now, when the radios are out or the wires are bad, they'll replace those. It won't cost us anything to do those. We issued a boil water notice for the Hickman addition due to the water leak. It only affected that particular home addition. So I issued the boil water notice for that. We took samples today, and we'll take samples tomorrow. Actually, we took samples yesterday, and we didn't take samples today because it was too late by the time we found out the results. But we have to take normal samples tomorrow, so we'll catch a few there. We had, the samples came back, E. coli was no sign of E. coli, but it had some, what they call it was just coliform. I don't know, they didn't specify what it was. But that could be when they took the lid off the bottle. If they rubbed the lid, it would have came back that way. They're very picky when you take them. And Mingo took them yesterday. I took them Monday. It was his first deal, so he might have touched the bottle. We'll find out on that. Most of that, everything else seems to be going pretty good. We're behind on trying to get the streets ready because we've had a bunch of other issues coming up. Trying to fix some things. We did get approved for the grant of $320,000, which is what we applied for the water tower. Between Kay and Gerald Burnett with OJD and myself, we're working on a different set of plans now to try to see if we can still use that money, which will actually help us get into compliance on these other issues that we've been facing of late. So we're going to be working on that. We're also working on trying to put in another chlorine booster station in town rather than way out there and lower the chlorine residual a little bit on our transmission line. So, because I like to keep it high here. And so we're working on those things. Other than that, I think everything else is going fairly smooth. things that we're having to take care of.
The letter there, did we discuss that?
We did get a nice letter from somebody that appreciated Mingo helping them on the side of the road one day. That was pretty nice. Is this the letter you're talking about?
Yeah, never mind, I saw it.
Is that?
Yeah, it's the 275, yeah. We've got to work on getting the number still. They require what they used to call a CPR number, and that was done back when Roger applied for the grant, and now we can't use that number because he is not the one to be able to go in there and set that number and his passwords and everything. We don't have record of all that, so we're having to reapply. And for 2 days, it's been on hold. I've been on hold for an hour and a half each time before I could talk to someone. And then you can only get so far. So now they had to get me into a Tech 2 to discuss the next step that I can do to get a number so we can actually follow through with that grant also. You know, we have to have that number. And they call it a cage number now, no longer a CCR. But it's a big step, and I mean, it's a lot of work, and a lot of paperwork, but they're working with us. They were supposed to call me today, but I didn't get anything from them.
So this is a different one from the one you were just talking about?
Well, it's the same one, but in actuality, it's a $320,000. The $275 is the actual money. And then you have
So this one here hadn't gone through yet.
the downtown revitalization. We did not get approved for that. We were way down on the list on that. So,
Will that put us higher on the list next time?
maybe. We have no historical landmarks registered with the historical thing, so it kind of puts us a little bit further down, where most cities have a bunch of those. Nothing around our square is in historical.
Not even the chamber?
No, nothing is. They did that check, and I got that letter saying that. So
Do you have any idea what this might be transferred to, or what other projects could be transferred to?
the 320, it still has to be water or wastewater, and we're hoping we can split it. If not, then, you know, we have some issues that we're going to have to address, and we'll address them with these funds is what we're hoping that we'll do. So, but other than that, we don't know. I mean, it's all dependent upon the engineers writing, and we started that today. So we've actually got, Kay talked to him yesterday evening, he called me this morning, and we're already working on it. So
Who's that?
Gerald Burnett, he's with OJD Engineering. So
I have a question about the boils notice. I know it was for Hickman Edition, but I had a lady tell me yesterday that was out on the Peacock Highway, that she's boiling hers because she understood that she was in the boil
No,
notice?
she called today.
Okay.
Yeah, the call that was made to her was the wrong number.
Oh.
It was
Really?
when they had, no, that was the wrong number that was called, so that got straightened out today.
Okay.
Yes.
and we've
When
addressed
can we ask any questions? After the meeting in the alley, or? I have a question.
Anything else?
I'm done. That's
Is that everything? I think that's everything on the agenda. Got a motion to adjourn?
I'm supposed to adjourn.
Second. First, second, all four? We're adjourned.
Can I ask a question now, Ralph?
Yeah, I'll try to answer.
Why can't we ask questions? I know y'all took the open forum off because you don't want people talking, but I don't think that's fair. The taxpayers ask questions.
I'm sorry, they didn't come talk to me.
For me.
Not during the meeting.
Nobody wants to talk to you. We want what everybody has to say, not one
Well,
person.
there's a misconception in the open meetings deal is you're never allowed to speak during the meeting.
In an open forum, you can. Y'all took it off of your
Open
agenda.
forum is only
I know
before
what
the
it is.
meeting.
Don't tell me. I know what it is.
It's before the meeting,
I know
not
what
the
it is.
meeting.
quit acting like I don't know what it is, so.
I would say there's a lot of misconception of that everybody wants to
I don't
talk
have a
during the
misconception.
meeting.
I know what it is.
Well, maybe we need to talk to our council members and tell them we want it put back on.
It still won't matter in the middle of the meeting.
I'm not talking about the middle, I'm talking about being on the agenda and getting to speak your piece.
You can be put on the agenda anytime.
Oh, well, that's good, because I didn't know that.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
I thought that was off the table.
No, but that has nothing to do with open forum. Open Meetings Act allows you to request to be put on the agenda.
Okay, let's go back to that closed meeting I was talking about a while ago. Why there was no minutes taken and no.
There's a certified agenda for that meeting.
I know, but you still have to.
It's a certified
No,
agenda.
you still have to take
No,
minutes.
ma'am. I mean, we're not gonna argue that point.
Well, you might go talk to the
Oh,
county
yeah.
judge. I know you have, and he's already told me what he told you and what you told him.
We had an
I don't
executive
even-
session, and executive sessions are closed, and if anybody puts that information in the executive session on a public forum, they're automatically in violation. It's a $2,500 fine. We've had requests to get the minutes from the open forum meeting, what we discussed, and we don't have to keep those minutes. We have to keep a certified agenda of the meeting or our recordings. We choose to do certified agenda. We can release that certified agenda to somebody that requested for them to look at. We don't release it to the public. That's still closed. And what we discussed in the meeting is still closed. It's not public information. So,
If hypothetically, if an issue arose where whether or not you went into a closed session lawfully or not, say somebody contested that, and the district attorney or the county judge said, I'd like to see the minutes of that closed session, and I'll decide whether or not you were in there lawfully or unlawfully, then you would give the county judge the minutes of that session, right?
if the Attorney General told us to, yes. That's where that
Well,
comes from.
okay, but you just said you don't.
We give it to them, but not to individuals.
No, you just said that you don't take minutes. You do a certified agenda.
And that's all we have to take.
So what you're saying is that's what you would turn over to the Attorney General,
Yeah,
right?
actual writing, a secretary writing the minutes of the executive session, we don't have to do that. We have to do a certified agenda, which makes the points of the meeting.
Half time went in, half time went out, and just a general topic.
But that's what I'm saying, but you just said you give the minutes to the Attorney General.
Well, the certified agenda, I would
Okay.
have him read it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but you need to be clear when you say that, because there is a difference.
As I say, there's the council can go into executive session anytime it has something to do with personnel, and that was what the issue was about.
How specific do you have to be?
I don't really have to be.
Well, you do, so
Well, no.
you have to be specific.
About personnel?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because you have to, a personnel is a person that you're talking about, one of your people that are working for you.
If I have one person on the agenda, if I want to go into executive session due to,
We're talking about hiring a deputy? Is that not somebody, a deputy?
we were talking about not a person, we were talking about a department. That's what we were discussing.
Oh.
So there's difference.
Well, that would appear to me should have been done in open session if you weren't talking about anybody specific, if it was just a negotiation.
Well, we'll keep that in mind.
Well, no, we're gonna keep stuff in mind that this council and every other council better go by the laws of the state.
We are going by the laws of the state, and we have our lawyer that signs off.
Well, your lawyer, he may not know everything.
Just call him and talk to him. That's all I can suggest there, is maybe you need to have a conversation.
Have all the council members been through the proper training?
Yes.
You all got certified? I know some council members have made the remark that they have no idea what the laws or the rules are, they're just kind of going along. That would seem a little bit foolish to me.
I have a question. I mean, I'm kind of new at coming to these things, but it seems like a certain group has took a vendetta to destroy our council. And I mean, I'm not saying it's tacky, but I work in a public place.
You might need to check on the laws yourself.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna say this, and I don't care if you like it or not.
I don't-
I work in a public place. I have heard so much bad talking lately about people that sit on these boards, and I respect y'all. But it's not being fair to just act like they're all doing something evil and behind the closed doors. I mean, it sounds like everybody's out there hanging the city council, the hospital board, the commissioners. I mean,
That's
yeah,
certainly not my intention.
well, I'm working in a restaurant, and I tell you, it's been really bad lately.
I haven't been there talking, so.
And I'm gonna defend these people because maybe I'm out of place, but
No,
it
no
really-
one is trying to,
Okay, why
accuse
wasn't the hospital board video the other night?
and when wasn't it?
Wednesday night, right? They met Wednesday night. We haven't got around to near all the boards that we're
You
gonna,
It
video.
seems like it's just a person.
Well, if you know of one that's going on, then feel free to let any of us know. We'll be,
I mean, I'm
It's
not
not
trying to
anybody's
attack y'all
intention,
either. I mean,
not
I'm just saying that it seems like right now it's been,
no. The big thing is, everybody needs to be involved.
yeah, we
Whether you
all
are
do.
in the city, or just within county, or whatever. You
That's
need to know
true.
what's going on.
That's
So,
right. It is.
Thank
But
you
you
all
know-
for coming.
You get a contradictory in what's going on. The county judge tells you that Sonny told him he did not take any minutes. And then they get here and Ralph says they're in the bank vault. Well, you know, that's a contradiction there. You know?
Well, we all kind of we all say things that maybe somebody else can understand. That's like the issue with the ordinance concerning the word fine. In the ordinance, fine is never mentioned, so it's not a fine when you violate the drought contingency ordinance. It's an overage charge, but everybody wants to see it as a fine. In language here, minutes are minutes, but in executive session, they're minutes, but they're what they call a certified agenda, not necessarily written minutes of the deal. It's still a certified agenda. So we call them minutes.
So can we have that certified agenda?
No,
Did you say
No,
we
it's a
could?
closed session unless the district attorney says that
That's
it was
okay.
not a closed session.
And the reason we took the open forum off is because the council wants you to come in here and speak to them, and then we can take action upon it. In an open forum, in an open meeting, the open forum part is so many minutes before the meeting. You have to sign up. If you're not on the signature, you can't speak. Then once you're on the list to speak, then you only speak to the mayor. And it's not a question, it's only speaking to. You cannot be addressed back, nor can you address any certain person of the council, nor me. It has to be addressed to the mayor. After you're through, there's no action can be taken. We can't discuss it, nothing. So if you're on the agenda, we can discuss it at that time and take action if needed, if the complaint is, there. And all you have to do is get on the agenda is to call Ralph or to call me or to call Tim. And we put you on the agenda. That's what the open part of the meeting before was to slap your hand on the desk and gripe about something and nothing can be done. So we want stuff to be done. And the only way we can do it is to take action upon that deal at that time. Otherwise we can't.
I think what rubs people a little raw is this is the only meeting where there's not an open board.
Well,
And
this
the
is
other
how
board
we
members,
see.
the other board members of the other open meetings, they don't understand it either. They say, they should have an open forum.
Well, but they run theirs different than the city runs theirs.
but it's the same,
It is.
same thing.
But
You're
some-
allowed to speak if you have something, a concern, an issue, or a suggestion. It's recorded, and then if it's something that is warranted, it's looked into or considered or whatever.
One of the issues
And it
is
could
because
appear on the agenda.
the way the city usually, and the county has to do similar things to it, hospital board, is we have a meeting once a month. So it's 30 days or longer before we can act upon anything that was even brought up at the last meeting, before it's put on the agenda for the next time, unless we call a special meeting. For the special meetings, we have to have 4 members here, not 3, and, to have special meetings, and we don't pay anybody here, so
Oh, I know.
it's kind of hard for them to do that. So that was the lawyer your suggestion to do that was because there were so many issues discussed during the open part of the meeting that were never acted upon because we couldn't. Now, if you take it away, then the same people that wanted to come in and do that can now get on the agenda, and we can take action to fix it, or take action upon whatever the issue was.
Well, you know,
So we still have one, it's just you're on the list now, instead of...
it's kind of like the deal with the water situation. You know, I have a wonderful question. What are we doing to prevent this in the future?
Well, you can ask me that.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. We're working on that. The problem is it's been turned down so many times that...
Are we working on the Aspermont Lake?
Well, no.
Is that a possibility?
No, it's called the Brazos something.
The Brazos River Authority.
Yeah, but I think that's gonna be another mute thing because of past. You know, there's a whole lot of hurdles we have to get over and smoozing that we have to do in order to fix the past.
Yeah, the county's working on.
And that's what we're all trying to do, and so we're trying to keep all the other stuff simple. And the simpler the better, you know, and misinformation is killing us. That's the big thing, is...
In my opinion, and I don't know because I don't know enough about water runoff and collection and all that to know that is the perfect solution. But in my mind, if we could restore that Aspermont Lake, even if we had to take from it and Miller Creek and our wells, then if Miller Creek goes dry, maybe we still got water here. I mean, I don't mind conserving, and I agree that...
There are so many other issues with that.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying, you know?
It's like if we had the lake water down there, and there was enough water in that lake to drink, then we would have to open the treatment plant in order to treat that water. And that's millions of dollars.
I understand that. My husband worked for the city many years ago.
That's the issue there. And then getting it approved and doing all these other things is the issue.
But...
I know it's a good idea, but...
I drink water out of that lake and it smells just like, it tasted just like fish.
But it wasn't treated back then.